Here are 3 proven fixes for when your business feels like a dumpster fire. No leads, no time, no clients, and way too many ideas flying around. In this episode, I'm walking you through real strategies to attract clients on a budget, set boundaries with your team, and delegate the stuff that's draining you. You'll get real-world tactics for building leads without spending big, training up your team in the right way, and delegating your most draining tasks. All pulled from a live coaching session I had with a stylist whose business was hanging by a thread.
You want to be a young boss, but your sales are stuck. You're burned out trying to find the right people, and you end up doing all of the work yourself. You're bleeding money, and you're fighting to keep your business afloat. I've been there. I'm Isabel Guarino, and I've scaled businesses to millions, and I've watched ideas burn to the ground. And I know exactly what it takes to survive and win. This is Young Boss, the podcast that helps you break through the barriers standing between you and the business you deserve, where youth is your power.
First, we have to identify the problems and the pain points. Let's break it down. First, client drought and budget woes. Morgan, she needed new clientele, but she has a really tight budget. And I know a lot of my young bosses listening can relate. She lost clients when she had a salon transition, and she's in the make it work mode right now. 2, she has a very ambitious assistant. And you may think of this as a positive, but it can be a pro and a con. Her young, energetic assistant has a ton of creative ideas, but she lacks the business context. And Morgan hesitates to say no without feeling mean. We've all been there and done that. 3, she has no time for marketing. Morgan is maxed out doing the money-making service, which is hair. She has little to no time or energy for social media or follow-up, and those are the tasks that build a pipeline. So let's break these down one by one, and I'm going to walk you through how we approached each challenge together. When your back's against the wall and clients have stopped calling, what do you do with no budget and no time? Well, here's what we figured out. You have to start with what worked. So I asked her about her history. Where did the clients used to come from at her past salon? And lo and behold, 85% of the past clients came from social media, which is great, but it's not the whole picture. Only 5% came from Google and 10% from word of mouth, both underutilized in my opinion. Here's how I helped her build a multi-pronged strategy for low budget growth. Number 1, we have to reignite word of mouth intentionally this time. During, appointments with clients, you need to prompt them. I talked to her about, hey, we've got to ask them, hey, if you loved your cut today, do you love this style? Awesome. Would you do me a favor and refer a friend? You can even tell them, hey, we're starting new and I've got plenty of open time and availability and I really want to get amazing new people through the door. So if you know anyone who would like my services, make sure to tell them about us. You can offer a small referral bonus as well, or a sample product, or $10 off, or some future add-on. People really love money off and bonuses, so it's kind of an easy one to add on. You can also host a low-lift bring a friend event or promo. Maybe she can offer blowouts and, hey, if you bring a friend, you'll both get 50% off or something of that nature. There's so many ways to have word of mouth be reinvigorated by just offering a little something to help bring in a whole new client, which will add a lot more to your bottom line than a 10% discount. Number 2, fix and optimize Google listings. Google can be very underused in a lot of small businesses, but it really should not go overlooked. She really needed to look up if her business address was updated and verified on Google, and then start getting those reviews coming in. Also, add keywords for SEO optimization, like blonde specialist in Mesa or color correction expert in Arizona. She needs to encourage those clients to leave new 5-star reviews, which will instantly build trust as well. I always love when I'm at someone's, place of establishment and they say, hey, if you had a great experience and you leave a review, they make it super easy. Here's the QR code, whatever. I'll give you 10% off today. I will literally leave a review right then and there. It's no problem at all for me. It takes me 5 seconds. I can do it while I'm sitting in the chair. She gets what she wants and I get what I didn't even know I wanted is a discount. And I'll always take that. Number 3, collaborate locally. She could partner with local boutiques, cafe, nail techs, estheticians, all of these amazing people in the community, do cross promotion on stories or in-store flyers or QR codes. Again, just making sure that if you're in my chair, you probably might like these other services. And if you're in their chairs, you probably might like mine as well. So it's that back and forth to build exposure through trusted local businesses. Number 4, re-engage cold leads. This one does take some effort, but you can always hire a VA to DM or text past clients and say, hey, Sarah, I moved salons and I'd love to see you again. Here's a little welcome back gift if you're interested. That's going to get them through the door and say, oh my gosh, I haven't scheduled with her in forever, or I didn't know she moved and now they want to book with you again. Build a client list via freebie lead magnets. Maybe you do some top 3 color extending tips or some fun downloadable thing that people are going to say, oh, I want to look at this. Oh, what might this be? And now you start to build up that client lead list. So when you're doing a fall promotion or, a spring refresh, you now have emails and phone numbers that you can start to hit up. Number 5, she can activate her existing clients, asking clients to tag her in their stories or their selfies. That's always a big one. And then run a contest. Hey, tag me and you'll be entered to win a treatment add-on or a product or service. That's a really great way for people to kind of showcase what you've already done. And what better way to get your business out there than to have someone who already loves what you've done for them showcase that and tell all their friends about it. Here's a little secret I'll let you in on. There are many marketing solutions that don't cost money. They just require a process. And Morgan, she already had the assets. She had clients, she had skills, she had history, but we just had to reactivate them in this new transitional space.
Hey, it's Isabel from Young Boss, and if you are struggling in your business and want to talk to a consultant who's been there, done that, listen, I'm your girl. I've got consultations available right here in the show notes or on our website at theyoungbosspodcast.com. Go check it out and schedule a call so we can connect on how to improve your business, enhance your team, even scale. Whatever you want to talk about, I'm here to help you with it. Go schedule, and I look forward to talking to you. Now, back to the show.
But here's the catch. All of this takes some time and consistency, which brings us to the second challenge. She has no time for marketing. She's making money behind the chair, but behind the scenes, everything's falling through the cracks. And personally, she feels like she doesn't have the time or energy to work on marketing efforts because after a long day on her feet, the last thing she wants to do is post or reply or edit content. It just seems exhausting. Been there? I know, we all have. And yet this visibility is what fills her chair. So what do? Well, all she needs to do is take inventory of the assets, resources, and people around her. Sometimes the solution is right in front of you. You just need to uncover it and then piece it together. So sometimes there's a mindset shift that needs to go on. Posting equals profit. Especially when she just learned that 85% of her clients come from social media. The more she posts, the more she's going to get clients. People forget what they don't see constantly. We have so many images and videos being thrown in our face every single day. You need to be seen. I think the new number is 22 times before they see you. Social isn't extra, it's essential. So this is what I proposed to her during our consultation. Number 1, the delegation strategy. She needs to set timers for content capture. Literally. Okay, so set a timer, one before the client walks in to say, capture that before photo, that before video, one at the end to capture that end or after video. So at least she has the content there together. 2, assign the task. Her daughter is looking for work and she likes editing and posting. She loves social media. So maybe she can teach her the process, set clear expectations, show her, this is what we want for daily uploads. This is what I'm willing to pay you. And here's the accountability. I need these things done. And these are the KPIs I'm looking for at the end of the day. If it doesn't work out with her high school daughter, she could always hire a VA. VAs are incredibly inexpensive and they will do an excellent job. And the best part is many times people are fearful of hiring a VA because they say, well, I don't know if they're going to know how to do this, or what if they make a mistake here? To me, a VA's success is about how willing you are to train them. So if they fail, a lot of times it's about you not being so good at that. If you store the videos in iCloud, you can literally let a VA do the rest. All you have to do is train them one time on what you want it to say, look like, feel like, the music, the vibe, the whatever, and it's going to be amazing. A VA could be anywhere from literally $5 an hour all the way up to $25 an hour, but typically overseas are in that 5 to 15 range, and it can be extremely inexpensive to get busy work tasks like social media, which is repetitive, or building that content, which is repetitive. it can get done so much easier. Okay. So now that we had a plan to bring in new clients and free up her time, the next challenge became less about Morgan and more about the person right beside her. The incredible assistant who came with so many fresh, fun ideas, but no game plan. So what do you do when your assistant has these great ideas, but has zero execution? You don't shut her down, you actually coach her up. So we really dug in and we talked about how the problem is actually a huge opportunity. Her young assistant is creative, enthusiastic, and proactive. She just really lacks structure, okay? And Morgan struggles and lacks, right, the ability to say no without crushing her. Every time she brought an idea, Morgan's like, oh my gosh, we can't do this, and wanted to say no, but then didn't want to make her feel bad or be mean. And so she would just kind of push it off or dismiss it. And then the assistant's feeling like, hey, I'm trying to help us. You keep talking about how we need more clients and we need to bring in more money. And I'm trying to help, but you aren't really listening to what I'm saying. So we really talked about reframing the conversation. Don't shut her down, train her up. You can always say things like, that's a really cool idea. Can you break down the ROI for me and bring it to me by the end of the week? Because I really want to look into how we can make this work. Or, do you know if any other salons have done this? Let's find two to call before we actually decide if we want to go this direction and hear what's been working for them. I always like this one. Say, hey, this is amazing. Bring me some comps, some pricing, and a timeline. I'd love to dive into this one. Now you are turning that back on her. That's the formula. Compliment, structure, and offer your time after the prep work is done. It's not enough to just say, hey, here's a fun idea. Here's what we should do. Instead, you can say, I love that. Now bring it back to me with all these extra details and stuff. And she's going to find out really quickly if her assistant is willing to put in the work to actually bring these things to fruition. And she didn't get to say no. That's the long-term win. You're not just saying no. You're kind of saying no with grace, but also you're teaching her how to pitch. That's leadership. That's mentorship. That's building internal accountability. Now, an example of a great pitch versus a vague idea is to say, hey, I saw an Instagram video on geo-targeting ads, and I looked into the top 5 hair-related searches in Mesa, and I think if we put $10 a day on Google ads for 30 days, we might get 50 calls. And if we close at 15%, as that's what we've been averaging, that's about 7 new clients, which would pay for itself 10 times with just one conversion. I wrote it up for you if you want to see. Boom. If you can turn your assistant to saying that instead of saying, hey, I saw some geo-targeted ads and I think it would go crazy and I think we'd pop off. No. That is what you're building towards. And it starts with how you respond, putting that effort and energy back on them and saying, hey, come to me with this. Can you imagine if her assistant came with clear, concise ideas like that? Who would want to say no to that? You'd want to see it on paper and then you'd say, hey, I'm willing to try this for a month or however long it is. So this coaching moment mattered so much because I talk to business owners all the time through our consultation calls we offer at the Young Boss podcast. And sometimes the biggest breakthroughs don't happen on a Zoom call or in a mastermind. They happen in the messy, unexpected moments like the hair chair. Coaching doesn't always look like a formal session. It can happen in those everyday moments. And what matters is having perspective. When you are in your business and you're exhausted and you're overwhelmed and it's hard to see the next step, a mentor or coach or peer can help you get clarity and a path moving forward. The reality is that every business owner needs a guide. And if Morgan's story hit close to home, you are not alone. I know when I speak to you guys on those consultation calls, some of you describe these same feelings of saying, I feel mean if I'm saying no. I don't know how I'm going to time manage this. What can I do? So whether you're feeling stretched thin or unsure of how to grow or navigating tough team dynamics, the reality is, you guys, this stuff is hard. Owning a business is hard. Starting a business is hard. And keeping it alive is even harder. You're not failing and you're not behind. You might just be missing a game plan. And whether it's visibility or team communication or capacity, there is a better way. A little strategy goes a long way, and you don't have to figure this out by yourself. If you're ready for a fresh perspective and a solid plan, then hit the link in the show notes and let's work through it together. Thanks for listening to another episode of Young Boss. Make sure to like and subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok, and we'll see you next time. Remember, youth is your power.